definitely looks like a storm is brewing out there, so should be an interesting night. I'm going to do my best to sleep. Apparently we're going to be treated to a 2 a.m. thunderstorm. I'm going to see what I can catch of it. The rain has just started pouring down. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April the 9th, and things sure look peaceful in that valley down below, don't they? Look, as I turn around, you can just see the water and the lake all over the place. Well, last night, if you'll pardon the expression, all hell broke loose. We had a storm that I was shocked at the intensity of it. And even being in the shelter, I had to get the rain fly out of my tent and put it over me to keep the water from blowing in on me. It reminded me, honestly, of a tornado that my wife and I went through back in April of 2009, and we were at home and a tornado hit our house directly and completely destroyed our house. And from what I kept hearing out here, it sounded a lot like that. So fortunately, everything is still standing here, including me, and we had quite the storm event, but all is well, and I'm going to finish packing up and get on the trail. All right, Boomer here again. I'm going to go down that little path right behind me through that rhododendron and get back. That is the trail. I'm going to head on the trail. My suggestion is, if you're going to stay at this particular shelter, you really need to make sure you get some water before you get here, because the water is somewhere over my right shoulder here, that away, and it's down a very steep hill. It's not obvious where it is, and the path is not clearly marked. So my goal now is to hike 3.5 miles to the next spring to get some water, because I used all of it this morning for breakfast. So anyway, just wanted to check in with you, and I'll be back with you later. Boomer here on a cold, wet, foggy, blustery morning. It's definitely interesting out here. I think I've got about 1.6 miles to go to get to the tent site where the spring's located. If local rain has something to do with how well the springs are running, we should have plenty, because it rained hard last night. But anyway, just stop for a second to double check my mileage, and I'll get back to you later. Here's a view to the northwest from the trail. I know these trees here are kind of getting in the way, but you can see enough over them, I think, to make it worthwhile. Very pretty. It's so nice to see the sun out and clouds and blue skies again. If I hadn't happened to have looked up, I might have missed this altogether. You may not be able to read everything on here, but the very last sentence says, lived alone, suffered alone, and died alone. And it's Uncle Nick Grindstaff, born December 26, 1851, died July the 22nd, 1923. Good morning, Boomer here. Friday, April the 10th. Starting out, believe it or not, look at that, snow on the ground. It's cold here. And we are in this nice open field, headed toward that ridge up there to take us the last leg or so into Damascus, Virginia. So just wanted to check in this morning, and I'm going to cover my face back up because it's cold out here. Over the past few years, I've been watching videos of other people doing the trail, and I have seen this barn a number of times, but had no idea where it is. Well, I will tell you where it is. Once the trail crosses Route 91 in northeast Tennessee, Shady Valley, you will come up this nice path through the field, and there sits that barn, and you'll pass it on your way to the ridge lines that you're looking there on higher, which will take you on into Damascus. With apologies to Robert Frost, I am walking through the woods on a snowy morning. Just passing by the Queen's Knob shelter, and I can see why Guthooks recommends passing this one by and moving on to the next. If you can tell, it's actually leaning a little bit. I'm not sure I'd want to stay in there no matter what was going on out here. But anyway, it's just old and decrepit, and I understand it's not even an official shelter anymore, but I wanted to let you know what it looked like. This is the Abingdon Gap Shelter. This is the last stop before I get into Damascus tomorrow, probably about 9 miles or so. But as you see, I'm the only one here so far, but I've made myself right at home. I've already made a trip down to the water supply, and I'm here to tell you that was like descending into the very depths of hell to get water. But anyway, I did. I've got one water bag hanging here that will be filtered as we go along, and just to make sure I don't have to make that god-awful trip again, I've got a smaller bag over here that I loaded up as well too. On the table, I've got my stove, I've got my food bag, and all the food that's in there. I've got my trail journal. Hanging here is my backpack. And over in this corner, which honestly, if I get to the shelter first, I always pick this corner. I don't know why, it's just a quirk that I have. I've got my sleeping bag set up. You see my puffy laying on it back there. A few other things that I like to have close during the night. And my sit pad here, along with a few other things that I still need to tidy up and put away. One other thing I want to show you is my bear bag hang. So let me stop the camera and I'll go back to that and show you that when I get back. You see this little bag on the ground? It is my rock bag. I've got a couple of rocks in there to give the bag weight so I could back up and toss it over that branch right there. And I don't think you can see the line on the video, but the line goes all the way to the bag and then follows back to this tree, and I've got it wrapped around that. So once I finish eating and want my food to be put away and not be tempting to bears, I will remove that rock bag and I will get the blue food bag on the table and I will pull it all the way up there and secure it, and it will stay there until morning, hopefully without any grief whatsoever. Good morning. Today is Saturday, April the 11th, and from the looks of the distant horizon, the sunrise might have something in store for us this morning, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and catch it if I can. Definitely starting looking a little bit better out there. And a little more. Skies are really starting to light up now. Definitely morning here in East Tennessee. Reminds me of that Beatles song. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Oh yeah, it is definitely all right. All right, for those of you who are watching, that is definitely the sunrise for today. Too bad I didn't get it for tomorrow, Easter Sunday morning, but you know, I probably won't be up this early then. But anyway, here comes the sun and it is definitely all right. I'll get back with you later. Been hiking the Ridgeline towards Damascus for a while and came across this view, and I thought it was a very pretty view, so I wanted to stop and smell the roses for a minute and get some video to share this with you. This final walk from Shady Valley into Damascus is pretty much a ridge walk, and let me show you what I mean. Over on this particular side, that is Shady Valley through the trees down there. It's a very pretty area, and I'm up on this ridge here. Over on the other side, there's more valleys over there, and again, they're hard to see, But basically, I've been on a lot of trail like this today, where it slopes off on both sides. But it's been very windy up here too, windy and cold today. So anyway, just wanted to give you an update on what the trail was like. Apparently I've got around 10 miles to get into Damascus, and I should be able to do it this afternoon. If I'm not, I'll have to figure something else out. But anyway, just wanted to check in with you. We are now entering the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area and National Forest. Damascus is 3.5 miles away, and we are just about to cross the Tennessee-Virginia state line. So this will make the 4th state. And if you live in Virginia, I apologize for not saying Commonwealth instead of state, because there's several states that use that term as part of their makeup. But Virginia, I think, is one of the Commonwealths. So is Massachusetts. And I don't know the others. If you know what the others are, please put it in the comments below and let me know. But anyway, I've got 3.5 miles to go to get into Damascus. My brother Ron will be picking me up there. You remember him from Irwin. And I'm going to take a Nero and a Zero and start back on Monday. But anyway, here we are going into state number 4. Okay, I am now hiking down a trail in Virginia. You notice how different it is. That's sarcasm, by the way, in case you missed it. But anyway, we are headed downhill, which is good and bad in some ways, because I usually go pretty well and pretty fast downhill, but I had a few downhills that I overdid it on, and I've got a little bit of a shin splint on my left leg. So I'm trying to baby that a little bit, but I'm just hoping to get to Damascus by noon or 12:30 at the latest. So I will come back to you folks when we get there. It's hard to tell, but all those houses down there, that's my first view of Damascus from the trail. I will head on down the road and get closer to town. It's closer to a mile, I think, so it'll take me a little bit longer, the trail going back and forth, but I'll be there shortly. This is the view I see from so many vloggers as they come off the trail in Damascus, going between that house and this house right here. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing and then try to figure out which way I go next, because there are choices. I've seen this sign a lot too. I'm going to turn around and get a picture of me with the sign. By the way, after I took that last picture and was walking my way through this park, 2 sweet little girls came out of a house on a corner, came over and said, "Would you like a muffin?" They gave me a blueberry muffin. It was sweet.